So we have here the Royal Mine, and it is my job to figure out what they mine and if I want to mine it at all. I just spent an hour or more in the other mine mining gold, and I don't think I want to get involved with this, to be honest with you.
Zatrzymaj się!
O co chodzi?
Dla takich jak ty nie ma przejścia. Odejdź.
Well, I might not have a choice.
Czemu nikt mnie nie słucha?
Sounded like in the other mine you could go in with any faction because they specifically ignored the fact that I was a guild member, except by eliminating the entry fee. Oh, okay. So they mine salt. Probably less lucrative than gold, but still has its uses. So this guy is gonna get mad and like try to murder me, isn't he?
Alarm!
Alarm! He was like falling asleep, it sounded. Imminent death. Oh, that sounds great. What is imminent death? Imminent death is pretty lame.
Moja głowa. Alarm!
Also, I did not get bounty put on me. For a sword called Imminent Death, I was really expecting it to be better than that. Like, I am straight up underwhelmed by that. Kind of makes me wonder if I should run around here and get into more fights with more guards. But I'll ignore it. I'll make my own mine with blackjack and hookers. Forget the blackjack. There appears to be a harpy guarding the bridge to the monastery, which is in a pretty bad state of disrepair. But naturally, I will explore the surrounding premises before I head across the way. That is actually a really big monastery. I mean, do you remember how big the one in Gothic 2 was? The one in Gothic 2 was like maybe the size of this little thing on the left, this separate island. And then you've also got this massive thing over here. Goodness. I wonder if they're gonna let me do anything there. Or if it's gonna be restricted to novices only, which you can't do in this game. I mean, it's gotta serve some purpose. They wouldn't put it in the game to just have it sit there and do nothing. So if nothing else, it'll probably be involved with the main quest if they're not going to let me in now. In sort of the same way that the monastery in Gothic 2 had to be accessed when you were trying to get the Eye of Enos in Chapter 3, if by that point you had not entered as a prospective novice. Who are you, a carrier? Hey, oh, that's pretty cool.
Nie zdziwiłoby mnie to.
Mule Mertz. Another suspicious meat cleaver. What is up with these meat cleavers? Also, what if I just swim over to that beach? Is there any way down there? Like, if I go across the bridge, is there going to be a path that will lead me back down to that beach? Can you climb? Thank you. Another suspicious meat cleaver that I cannot target. Once again, the weird map glitch. So now I have 3 of these. I've got one with Sharek, David, and Lucy. I have to guess those are like some sort of reference to something. I suppose it's possible that at some point in the game I will meet characters matching those names, or they will be mentioned in a quest somehow. The 3 bandits, Yada, so Lucy, David, and Sharek, are wanted for murder and yada yada. Go find them, and then maybe there would be a little bit of an explanation for who these people are, but could very well be something unrelated for all I know. Okay, that does look like a path coming down. I'm really regretting learning level 2 blacksmithing. Because I got that Alice's, or not, I got Elena's sword here not too long after this. And now I'm going like, boy, I need more level ups to get the alchemy than what I'm able to do right now. Like, I don't know, maybe I'll be able to get 3 more level ups before chapter 2 is over. It'd be nice to, but I'm running out of things to explore. I don't know how many more quests there are available on the map, since there's the monastery, the Misty Marshes. That might not be a quest hub. The Woodcutter's Camp might only have like 2 small quests, maybe 3 small quests. Rita's Vineyard is what, number 12? You know, there's maybe a couple quests there, and I don't know what's up with the Wolf's Den or the Southern Marshes, but kind of feels like I'm getting low on possible quests, which would limit some amount of XP and force me into only combat. Now I have a missing cutlass, which sure seems like a quest item. But it is a usable weapon. Uses dexterity. Ooh, interesting. What's the situation over here, Mr. Mage? Elfeg.
Co cię do nas sprowadza, młodzieńcze?
I'm looking for my brother.
Szukam brata, nazywa się Jorn. Nie słyszałeś o nim może?
Niestety, pierwsze słyszę. Od dłuższego czasu społeczność klasztoru jest zamknięta na sprawy zewnętrzne i nawet takie wieści tu nie docierają. Spróbuj popytać w mieście. Tam na pewno ktoś udzieli ci pomocy.
Can I enter the monastery?
Czy mogę wejść do klasztoru?
Nie. Przeor zakazał wpuszczania obcych. Wyjątkiem są chorzy i potrzebujący, którzy nie mają się gdzie udać. Ty mi na takiego nie wyglądasz.
Co możesz mi powiedzieć o klasztorze?
Klasztor jest siedzibą magów wody oraz nowicjuszy od niepamiętnych lat. Służy nam za miejsce modlitw, pracy oraz kontemplacji. Jeśli lubisz historię, polecam poczytać o kompleksie w księgach. Niektóre historie związane z tym miejscem są naprawdę fascynujące. Wolfzak wiedział, co robił, wyrażając zgodę na budowę tego miejsca. Bez klasztoru Archolos nie byłoby takie same.
So remind me, was Wolfzak the first ruler of Archolos, or what?
Co możesz mi powiedzieć o magach wody?
Pewnie już to wiesz, ale jesteśmy kapłanami Adanosa, strażnikami równowagi oraz opiekunami chorych. Odkąd Przeor nakazał nam izolację w klasztorze, nie możemy już swobodnie opuszczać tej wyspy i pomagać potrzebującym na całym Archolos. Tylko wybrani magowie posługują poza tymi murami. Większość z nich przebywa w mieście.
How you
Co
doing?
słychać?
Cisza, spokój. Mam tutaj mnóstwo czasu na kontemplację, co potrafi być i piękne, i irytujące.
Yeah, I'm sure. This does not bode well for being able to explore anywhere else on this island. I have to swim all the way back to even cross the bridge. Woo, I almost fell off there. I don't know that it's going to be worth trying to swim around looking for other possible areas to explore, because the map screen does not indicate much in the way of shore beaches for me to get onto. So unless the map is misleading or there's like a hidden cave entrance somewhere, I don't think I have much chance of finding anything, so it's probably better to not waste my time. But you see, if I were doing this playthrough by myself and not recording it and uploading every episode as a full Let's Play, you bet your ass I would be exploring every possibility. I would be swimming everywhere, diving under everything. Because that's the type of player I am. I like to explore and check every possibility, and I like to reload saves and try different things and see how the game handles different situations and reacts to different things and test all the variables and learn as much as I can about everything. But that's not always entertaining to watch, so I'm trying to bite my lip and just do more of a straight playthrough. Meanwhile, I still don't know off the top of my head what recipes I have would use these mule myrtles. I mean, they were pretty awesome in the early stages of the game because they heal 60 health, which is quite a lot of health for just an individual plant. Like, even the healing root only heals 20. Digger's meat is 15, so this thing healing 60, pretty awesome. But I didn't want to use it then, because it was the classic, well, maybe I'll use it later. Or maybe I'll need it later, save it for when I really desperately need it, and use the cheaper, less valuable stuff. Now I'm at a point where 60 health isn't a lot, now that I have almost 400. Okay. This often seems to happen with the harpies. Shoot behind me. Ow. Who's laughing now?
Nie ma czego plądrować.
You know what? I can't even get across this bridge.
Nic tu nie ma.
Wow. I didn't even realize it was this broken. There's a rune for heal medium wounds. Assuming that's a rune. Looks like it. I would need to use telekinesis for that, but I don't want to. Maybe in the future I'll consider it. Otherwise, this has been a somewhat disappointing little excursion. Oh, I guess I'll follow the path that leads sort of up towards the watchtower near Silbach, and then probably loop back around into the Wolf's Den and slash or... What else was it over there? The Misty Marshes. We've got the Wolf's Den, the Woodcutter's Camp, and the Misty Marshes, so I'll kind of go clockwise around towards Silbach and loop around there, I suppose. Just because I want to try to radiate my way out away from areas that I have already explored. So interestingly, there are actually 2 roads. This one goes to Silbach. This one does or does not ever link back up with it. Looks like it does. And 1 second, Alright, there we go. What you doing? Come at me. Alright, so this leads into the Misty Marshes. I guess I could have read that signpost. I will approach the bridge and go no further. Unless I go explore under the bridge. What's that? Oh, that's like one of those swamp rats. Oh my god. These things are shooting blobs of goo at me. Goo monsters. I thought I explored over here already. It's looking familiar, so I can turn around and follow the other path now. Jump. Anybody got any scavenger eggs? Nope. Actually, I wonder if there would be any blood flies in the misty marshes. You'd think that would be a good place to find blood flies. I'm still short quite a few seeds, aren't I? I'm only short one. I just need one more blood fly. Oh, hello. If anyone sells blue elder seeds, I might just buy one, but I don't know if anyone does or not. I never thought it would be this hard to find blood flies. It seemed like they would be like, you know, blood flies, scavengers, and mole rats are like the standard vermin that just get populated around roads and other completely inconsequential areas. But there's been no blood flies, like anywhere. Apart from all the ones that I killed around Silvok long before I knew how to take seeds out of their bellies. This is a spot I could possibly see being a goblin berry. Dragon root would be nice, but I don't think there will be. I see goblin. Oh, of course. See my special plant instincts. They just tingle. I'm like, you know, this seems like an area. I don't know why. It wasn't specifically the glowing crystals. I was just like, it's kind of a slightly out of the way backtracking area through dense wooded areas on a high ledge. That seems like a goblin berry. I mean, I would love for there to be a dragon root up here, but I don't think there's gonna be one. Blood flies! Hallelujah! At long last. It only took me 600 hours to find another blood fly. And by 600, I mean realistically maybe 20, 30? I don't know. It feels like it's been forever. Oh, that sounded like a shadow beast. It is a shadow beast.
Nic tu nie ma.
Let me heal up. I'm out of apple pastry. I could have that dragon or goblin berry noodles. I'll get me 3 extra dexterity. And I'll save that. I don't really need the dexterity now, and it's overkill for health. but boar stew will be good. As will a stick rat. Alright, the time to kill a shadow beast is here. Oh god. Stop doing that. Damn. I fully expected him to just keep charging at me, and it completely wrecked me. You know, the real reason to get those snacks from the mine might have been the relatively cheap perennial
Niczego tu
wine.
nie znajdę.
If that's the recipe, or if that's the ingredient needed for the stew, the boar stew. Because it sure seemed like the amount of gold I got out of that was the same or better than what I would be getting if I were just buying apples.
Niczego tu nie znajdę.
I think the main benefit is just the convenience of getting so many apples all at once versus having to go through that 4-a-day limit with the random trader guy sitting outside the harbor gate. I think that's the watchtower up there. Looks like it. I have already depleted that tree. Now this is going to start looping into familiar territory, and I should have killed everything in this general area between Silbach and Rita's vineyard, but we'll see. I've been seeing some suspicious enemy spawns in places that I had previously cleared. So that's to the signal tower. I don't need to go that way, because I don't intend to go up to the signal tower. Although there is, I think there might be a bridge path that connects to it. I don't know. Either way, my plan was to come more along this road. Actually, you know what? There's all these woods, like, in this area around Silbach that I've ignored. There's like stuff down past the hunter's camp here. What is this? Oh. Man, like why does that happen? I open the map screen and I just lose my ability to target things. There should be some stuff like past the hunter camp here that I can hunt. Oh, look at that, a healing herb up here. Woo! Game throwing me off of ledges. Oh. Okay. Well, at least I got an old coin and a mana essence for falling on my back down here. Alright, Locavor, I'm gonna sleep in your bed. But I'm gonna look at your inventory too while I'm at it. Show me your goods. So he's got all of that. All of his other jewelry was just for magic related stuff. I'm at a point where I could probably start buying these books. Might be worth it for just experience alone.
Hey.
Show me your goods. Alright, so I got Silver Court 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Naior deck and the Greedy King. And then I got damage volumes. So now my writings tab is going to be even more cluttered. So Silver Court, a book about the beginnings of the village of Silbach by an unknown author. Let me get a swig of water before I start reading this. For many years, scholars and simple men could not decide what is the true treasure of Archolos. Some say it is wine. In the company of this beverage, countless treaties were signed, kings crowned, and wars declared. Others would say that it is gold. After all, due to merchant contracts, the island is now called Bengard of the East. For me, however, that treasure has always been silver. Legends tell that many years before robbers, traders, and lords tore apart the goods of this island, mountain caves were teeming with an immense source of silver. Eventually, the greed of some foreign king led to a landslide, due to which silver ore fragments fell into a creek below. In such a way, people started to name it Silver Creek, and in its basin, the village of Silbach was built. Old merchant documents from that period confirm that the village was the place for unloading silver. There was so much of this raw material around that people would call Silbach the Silver Court. Craftsmen would carry immeasurable amounts of silver ore to the town and to the mouth of the river. It was silver that made Silbach flourish and turned it into one of the key transit points in Archolos. Volume 2. The earliest records about Silbach suggest that the village could be built in the period following the arrival of Maximus III, king of Myrtana. According to oral traditions, however, the settlement existed already before the time of the coming of ironclad warriors from beyond the Great Sea. Presumably, Silbach was then nothing more than a bunch of huts which, due to the flourishing trade, grew to the size of a regular village. After Maximus's invasion, the town of Archolos was turned into a ruin, and its reconstruction to a Myrtanian-styled city lasted many years. At this time, Silbach, situated in the center of the island, became the main trade point on the island. Although, due to the king's reforms, the old order was rooted out from the town, traditions found their way to flourish outside it. Despite being a part of the kingdom of Myrtana, Silbach became a refuge for local habits. There is no doubt that through nurturing memories of the old times, villagers speak so proudly of their land and crops it gives birth to. But they also scorn townsfolk, whom they call a rotten fruit of traitors and foreign aggressors. Book 3. One day I met a farmer, a mage, and an alchemist. They went into a bar, and then one of them said, "Ouch." Sorry, they ran into a bar. I screwed up that delivery. But all of them had their theory explaining the fertility of the soil around Silbach. The farmer claimed that villagers learned how to tame the forces of nature with their hard work. The mage, however, believed that the gratitude belongs to Adonos, who in his generosity regularly brings rain upon the fields. Like every single day. Like clockwork. The alchemist, on the other hand, stated that the volcanic soils increase the growth of crops. Perhaps only one of them was right, all or no one. Each of them, however, agreed that sooner or later, Silbach will become torn apart by different factions battling over its wealth. Looking at the village today, I can say that they were right. Araxos Guild ceaselessly sends their scouts to herd wild beasts near the village, so later they can gloriously come to the villagers' rescue and hound them with lifetime contracts. Wolf Sons, however, tend to threaten and remind them about historical affiliations. This jostling is carefully watched by Godfrey, the governor of Archolos, who introduced the vassal system. From the most honored people of Silbach, he chose the man whom he gave the noble title and the village together with the areas around it. The price for such a gift, however, was meant to be a boundless service to the crown. Sir Bodrin, also called Nestor, was the first ruler of Silbach. As the governor expected, he faithfully served the authorities of the town, often fulfilling the whims of townsfolk while disregarding the needs of his own people. Some say it was the reason why no chronicle ever mentioned his name. After Bodrin's death, his son, Sir William, took the rulership over Silbach. On the first day of his governance, he visited the church in the town where he swore service to Archolos and Myrtana. His rule was a constant struggle for keeping the balance between the needs of the townsfolk and villagers. One summer, William was taken by the plague which broke out on the island. His son Ramsay was then but a youngling, so he remained under the custody of his mother. Thus, Lady Aldona, also called an Iron Lady, took control over Silbach, and no ruler was ever close to her grandeur and determination. Despite the governor's orders, Aldona built a large manor in Silbach, renewed the chapel of Adanos, and erected a water mill solely for villagers. For this and other reasons, she was brought to the town hall to explain herself. But whenever Lady Aldona spoke, the governor and his lapdogs looked beside her like a bunch of scared little rats. I think this is possibly the final volume, unless... Well, okay, it does say, I think it is the last volume. Ooh, I got a permanent 7 health points, maybe for reading all of them. Lady Aldona ruled Silbach wisely, and many people speak highly of her even today. No lord before her had enough courage to stand in opposition to governors and fight for the good of the people of Silbach. After Ramsay came of age, his mother, until the end of her days, remained at his side, advising him in political and economical matters. Sir Ramsay took the place of Lady Aldona when she finished 24 springs and rules the village till this day. The people of Silbach, however, don't find him in the strength of his mother nor the peace of his father. Year after year, he is more like his grandfather both in appearance and character. Today, Governor Morris decided to take advantage of Ramsay's passion for hunting and allowed him to organize yearly ventures across the island. Having tasted lavish town life year after year, Ramsay more and more scarcely visits his home village. Many people of Silbach wished to rise against Ramsay, but the governor had a plan for it. In the place of the lord, a village elder named Albin stepped in. His iron rules successfully quenched voices of rebellion. The question remains, however, for how long? That was a fair amount of reading. Nice to get a little bit of backstory that I will promptly forget about. But here we have the mischievous Njordek and the Greedy Kings. An old country parable. Oh, there's only 3 of them. This summer, like the one before it, and even, as elders say, the summer before that, crops were not big and fish were not biting well. The sky was pouring down day by day, night by night, and on this sorrowful hour, a foreign king has arrived at the shore with 100 of his men armed as for war. He was a greedy and haughty man, and the life of others meant as much as the lives of meat bugs he crushed under his feet. And so the king of slaves got off his crimson boat over the heads of his servants. He breathed heavily, for he was a man of grand posture. He looked around on the left and right, hoping to see a song-worthy battle. But instead of people preparing for a fight, the warlord saw only a scrawny old man and 3 younglings behind him, clutching on wicker baskets filled with gifts. The old man hoped that the tributes would suffice the foreign king, so he would refrain from violence. The proud sovereign looked at the gifts laid before him, snorted with contempt, and tossed them away with his fat hand. He demanded that each of the younglings bring him the greatest treasure of this land, and if he won't be happy of them, he promised that the darkness of Morgrad itself shall fall upon them. Volume 2. The first youngling approached the foreign king, and with trembling hands he offered him a necklace made of polished amber. The sovereign climbed down his slaves... What? The sovereign climbed down his slaves like a fat mole rat from his den. Okay, I don't understand that sentence. He then yanked the necklace from the boy's hands and tried to put it through his head. But with the first attempt, the trinket broke, and ambers fell one after another into the sand. The wrathful one grabbed the boy in half and choked him to death with the strap left in his hands. The second youngling offered to the cruel one the best wine on the island. Impatient to wait until the boy poured the drink into a goblet, the foreign king snatched the jug and drank it eagerly. But as soon as he emptied it, he threw it up. Then the conqueror, angered greatly, and ordered his grunts to fill the boy with wine until it spilled out of his ears. The third youngling, however, brought no gift with him, so the foreign king pointed at one of his lapdogs to punish him for this insult. When the shadow of death hanged cruelly above the poor boy, he promised to lead the greedy king to the true treasure of this island. Amused, but also curious, he rushed after the youngling, and both disappeared into the darkness of the mountain grotto. Volume 3. I think this is the last volume. Permanent plus 4 hit points. After delving through twisted, salt-soaked corridors, the foreign king reached the end of the cave, but no treasure was to be seen. The terrible one then angered greatly at the boy, grabbed him by the throat, and shook, nearly choking the whole life out of him. The youngling then pointed with a shaking finger at the silver rocks glimmering in darkness, and the greedy king rejoiced 100-fold. Soon the arrogant one called all of his men and ordered them to dig as long as all the riches of the mountain would be extracted. The boy disappeared, but the king barely noticed that, for the visions of immeasurable treasures and power blot his eyes entirely. After the last rock barring the entrance to the silvery reward was cast aside, something swooshed, howled, and rumbled in the depths, and a gigantic mass of water washed away the small and baffled king, fool, and his cowardly grunts. And so the story comes to an end. Neoradek the Imp, punished the foreign king, and the Silver Creek flows on the island to this day. Okay. Three different damage volumes. With 50 XP, new information, useful information about the world. So Volume 1, since the dawn of time, humans have had to contend with all sorts of beasts, including other humans, to try to take from them what they've won so far. The key to success in this fight is knowing the different types of damage, defense, and their interrelationships. The most common type of damage you will experience is edge damage, otherwise known as damage from blades. These come in all kinds of swords, spears, and axes, as well as claws and fangs of monsters. Its overall usefulness is very high, but in few fights it gives a significant advantage. The next type of damage is the blunt damage. Such damage is done by mace, hammers, fists, and many monsters that strike with a large paw or head. Oh. Interesting. A large paw could be possibly a bear or a shadow beast, but they have claws, so I would think that's what would rip you to death. Anyway, blows are especially effective against heavy armor, bones, or boulders. Ranged weapons always cause projectile wounds. Like edge wounds, they have high overall utility, but in a few cases they are practically useless. Arrows bounce off stone or even thick leather, and hitting skeleton bones is not easy either. Types of damage, Volume 2! The hardest type of damage to describe by far is flight, wind, and fall damage. This is a very diverse category that includes attacks that are not very common. No armor has yet been created to protect against these types of wounds. Each creature has its own resistance to them. So Wind Fist, is that like a damage type? For humans, learned acrobatics may prove to be the only additional protection, as it allows them to properly distribute the energy of the blow. Usually, the larger and heavier the creature, the greater the resistance, while light and bony creatures are extremely susceptible to them. Next type of damage is magic damage, and it comes directly from spells. Additionally, most spells also cause an elemental reaction which can weaken or strengthen the damage depending on the creature that is subjected to it. Water can shatter stone into tiny pieces, fire can incinerate the undead, and lightning can instantly kill flying creatures. Poison and acid damage from certain toxic creatures works in a similar fashion. That's interesting. +1 mana, +1 strength. The magic damage associated with specific elements also seems to be affected by the weather. During a downpour, the power of spells related to lightning increases significantly, while the effectiveness of fire spells decreases. Don't underestimate the weakness of a certain magic. Lightning, for example, doesn't need a downpour to do massive damage to water. The last type of damage is fire damage and should not be confused with the fire elemental reaction mentioned earlier. Fire defense allows you to protect yourself from flames coming from a non-magical source, such as a fire lizard's breath, as well as from burning effects caused after being hit by a fire spell. Although these are very rare types of damage, you should be adequately protected as they can kill in the blink of an eye. Sure. Of course. Well, that's good to know that I get permanent stat bonuses for reading the full sets. And then I get all of this. Okay. I guess I could sell those right back to him if I really wanted to. Jump. Not sure if reading all the beast guides over here from this guy would give me a set bonus or not. But I'll buy those books and actually officially read them. What trophies did I bring him? Oh, I forgot about all this. Give Common Fangs 146. Well, I'll give you 25 of them. How about claws? Do I have common claws? I'll give you 25 of them. That's 250. We'll consider that more of that later. What does he take though? Mostly like teeth, fangs, and claws.
Pokaż.
No apples for sale, but he does have raspberries. Alright, bloodfly, boar, beast, goblins, lurkers, mole rats, rats, scavengers, wolves. So the bloodfly. Yep. Boars. They do blunt damage. Again, despite appearances, they are more likely to strike with their massive head than with their fangs, which makes no sense to me. Beasts, which includes field raiders and forest raiders, deal edge damage, vulnerability to magic and whatever. Gobos deal blunt damage, vulnerable to skeleton gobo, no special vulnerabilities. Lurkers, they deal edge damage and are vulnerable to fire and magic, while the sea lurkers are just magic. Mole rats, they deal edge damage. Rats deal edge damage, yada yada yada. Scavengers, okay, and then wolves. Orc dog is different from a warg. Okay. I do like that this tells you, like, try to get them from a distance and then they jump at you and then you can dodge them. Location in the vicinity of orc patrols. On Archolos, none. Orc dog. Location in the vicinity of orc patrols. On Archolos, none. So there are no orcs on Archolos? Supposedly? Our advice, run away. There must be orcs nearby, not to be confused with wargs. Okay. I have the last volume of this. I'll have to read the rest of that sometime when I have the full volume, because I'm not going to read that one just out of order. Whoa. So there's all this stuff that I have not explored. And look, more blood flies. Getting decent progress towards a level up after reading most of those books. It was the bestiaries that did the heavy lifting on experience.
Niczego tu nie znajdę.
Dragon root. I had a feeling. I was like, somewhere in this area. Probably a goblin berry. I felt like the foresty area would be a goblin berry, but there's in the back of my mind, I was thinking that rock. I keep seeing them on those rocks. I'm like, this place is maybe just out of the way enough that it would be justified to be one. I didn't call it out, though. I did not have enough confidence to say there's probably one here. But there is a frogman way over there. Be curious to see how I do against that. I'll come back for that later. Big fish. Another big fish. Another big fish. What do I get from them? In fact, let me open these as well.
Nic tu nie ma. Nic tu nie ma. Nic tu nie ma. Nic tu nie ma. Nic tu nie ma.
How tough is a frogman going to be? It's got a pretty gnarly looking mace. Probably does less damage than what... Oh, somehow all 3 of them aggroed. I don't like that. Although, I do pretty good damage. Pretty easy, all things considered.
Niczego tu nie znajdę. Niczego plądrować. Niczego tu nie znajdę.
Where'd all their weapons go? Did they slide under here? Here they are. What's a frogman's mace do? What does it look like? This is probably it. 50 bucks. 90 strength for 50 blunt damage, but it does 15 armor piercing, which is kind of cool. Sadly, it's still much worse than what I have now. Alright, come at me. Oh, he's a slingshotter. A little pebble. I guess that was the ammunition for the slingshot. How do I get more little pebbles? Hey, this needs strength. There's no point in using this weapon. Okay. There's no point in using that weapon. So I guess I won't use it. Oh, I unequipped my weapon. Thanks a lot, game. How did I unequip that when I was... It unequipped my treachery. Game trying to screw me. Unequipping all of my gear. Still have my jewelry equipped at least. Oh, I just realized I have an elixir of life. I got that forever ago, I think. Maximum hit point bonus, sure. And that's a temporary one. But I'm near enough to the village that I could hop in here and rest in a bed. What do you have still? Anything that I would be interested in now? Not really. I'll buy your apple.
Czas nam.
I think I've already looted his chest, but I'll try again. Maybe not. Okay. Hello. You guys were real late getting here. Like, holy cow. Right now, you saw nothing. Nothing was stolen.
Rozsądnie.
No proszę, jednak można.
How about you? What do you
Pokaż.
have? I'll buy a few lockpicks. I don't really need too many. But it's good to have more, because I do burn through some of them. How am I doing on lockpicks? 26, that's plenty. Show me your goods. It's good, but not 1,500 gold good. Paula. Are you?
Pokaż.
Nothing.
Pokaż.
It's got plenty of pumpkins. I don't know if his stock is replenishing or not, but he's got plenty of pumpkins. Alright, what other merchants are there in here that I might possibly buy from? I think that's it. This guy sells stuff. Show me your goods.
Pewnie.
Not much.
Moje bar...
Good for your lambs. Alright. What, 3? 1, 2... 3 confirmed frogmen.
Nic tu nie ma.
Oh. Don't see the other one. Oh god, where'd he go? He was right behind the tree, that's why. Thought he was still like way over here. Mule Mert. Ding. Now I only need 2 more level ups before I can master alchemy and start making a bunch of those permanent strength potions. What do we got in here? Mud turtle, lurker, and a ring of life. Not a bad little haul. Of course. So this little foresty area across the river leads up into Mount Doom. Death Mountain. That kind of seems like it's going to be a special area for some sort of quest event at some point, perhaps. So I may not need to do much exploration over here, but I can at least poke my head, follow the path, and get up towards the entrance. See what's going on over there. I seem to recall there are some difficult enemies at one point that I may have shied away from. I'm pretty certain I have depleted this tree. Depleted tree. Like there may have been wargs at one point. What? What is happening? My crossbow got unequipped. I'm trying to press my crossbow button. There we go. Trying to scout for enemies. Oh, it's frogmen, that's what I was seeing. Well, that'll do it. That'll certainly scare me away back when I was level 5 or whatever. There's the wargs. Whoops. Alright, come on, wargs. So I hope the fact that there's no commentary right now is not boring, but there's really just not much to comment on. It's just kind of methodical exploration, clearing out the map and fighting enemies and exploring. What's this thing being so difficult is gonna be a little bit more engaging. Oh god, he got me. Is that the first time I've been hit with one of those lunge attacks while backstepping? Stick rat. Clear this out of my inventory. What is this? That's the honey? Okay. Yes. Screw it, let me just eat that. There's gotta be no other use for that. That was purely a quest reward item. Of course, now that I've eaten at some other quests, I'm like, hey, I need a bottle of this exquisite honey. And I'm like, oh, great. Goblin berries anywhere? No sign of gobo berries. But I'll happily take a gold cup. That's pretty valuable. Oh, he saw me. Now the question just remains as to what is actually along this mountain path that seemingly leads up to a volcano, or I guess this has to be the volcano, right? It looks like it's got that crater on top. What? Equip a bow, thank you. Did not expect there to be whatever that kind of structure is. Looks like a shrine to Adenos, or kind of almost looks like it could be something from Varant. I do see a vein of magic ore. I'm stuck. So where does this put me on the map? I'm in some kind of little secluded area. Not really on the, whatchamacallit, on the mountain base yet. But here's a magic ore deposit, so I can get 3 shards of magic with 1 nugget. Ooh, 2 nuggets. Okay, so what is Uniter? This looks like a book. Have I read that before? That sounds familiar. I believe I have read this. Yep. Kind of disappointing. So a ring of liveliness is what? Health? Oh, now these things are stacked. Why did those get stacked? So now I can't get... I can never get my boxer benefit. Ah. I don't understand. The pickaxes are stacked when they weren't before. What if I need to fist fight someone? How do I separate items in a stack? Like, it's really important that I be able to equip both of those rings. Maybe if I enter the mine and then leave the mine, they'll automatically fix it? Because like my wood cutting chests were stuck together. My wood cutter's axes were stacked. Here's the magic volume. That's the real treasure up here. That does me no good. I mean, this is a neat little area. But clearly this is not going to be an important endgame area. So, never mind about that. Oh. Did not expect back spawn. That's new. Kinda cool though. I'll take it. Opportunity for more XP. Which is what I'm really looking for these days. I think there should be the carrier right ahead. Maybe I can get him to take me somewhere that I can then travel to the gold mine. And maybe if I enter the gold mine, those rings will get unstacked. Oh, I forgot about this guy. Weddy. Maybe I should try to kill this guy. He does a ton of ranged damage, so I need to make sure I have max arrow protection just to get close enough. I don't know that I have anything here that boosts arrow defense. Oh, well, this will give me +5. That gives me 7, which is even better. So, 67 projectile defense. Food, if I can heal up. Get in. Possibly sneak behind him. I don't know if I can approach from behind safely. I would think it would be possible. He might be glitched. I remember the last time I tried to fight him, he was not aggro. Oh, but he's looking at me, so I don't know. Really don't know. He's even turned to look at me. Now he's shooting at me. That's great.
Teraz cię załatwię.
The wet bandit.
Już po tobie, śmieciu.
Like, this guy hits so hard. This is insane. Oh, I do swim faster. Holy crap. I don't remember that being a thing in the Gothic games. Oh, Jesus. Getting, like, all my health knocked down before I can even get to him? This is completely ridiculous. Can I ice block him from here or something? Like, is that an option? Because this guy is absurdly strong. Like, this is the single strongest enemy in the whole game as far as I'm concerned, is this wet bandit. where even is an ice block? I have one ice block spell? Jeez. Frickin' ridiculous. It's a ridiculous enemy. Can't sneak up on him. It's so ridiculously hard. Is this the weapon he was using? A light mahogany bow? Like, what was his dexterity if he was hitting me so hard? Oh, man.
Hej, ty!
So he can't take me directly to
Zabierz
the... whatchamacallit. He could take me... I go to Sailor's Retreat from
W
here.
sumie to się...
There's a magic circle that will not get me to the gold mine. So
Hej, ty! Zabierz mnie...
there is an Araxos runner near the harbor, though. So why don't I go there?
Ależ oczywiście.
Hej, ty!
Now you take me
Zabierz...
to the Merchants Guild mine.
Kopalń...
No ależ
So I want to see if this will separate those stacks of rings. 'Cause as of right now,
Pochan...
I'm pretty miffed about that. I can buy another ice block for 150. Sure. Just in case I need it for another situation like what I had to deal with.
Czemu dowiaduję się o tym dopiero teraz?
Trudno mi w to uwierzyć. Nie mów, że o tym nie wiesz.
Moja reakcja była taka sama.
I'm also gonna bring my lockpicks in and
Przynajmniej jest
steal the treasure chest in that room with Astle.
Nosisz?
Przecież on wiedział już o tym wcześniej.
find them.
Naprawdę sądzisz?
There they are.
Nie można wierzyć we wszystko, co się słyszy.
Can't use my Araxos, so
Każdemu
where's
jest
that?
ciężko.
One in the mines.
Chcę wejść.
Spadam. Co ja gadam? Jak jedyne, co wolno wnieść do kopalni, jeśli czujesz potrzebę.
Got my pickaxes.
Tak jak mówisz.
Need to drop my gold in here.
Mnie nie musisz o to pytać.
Mnie i tak nikt nie słucha.
Wszyscy uciekli.
Skąd ty to masz?
Z tego będzie jeszcze więcej kłopotów.
Mam własne zdanie na ten temat.
Własne zdanie na ten temat. Nikomu nie jest lekko.
Kind of lame. Is there another treasure chest in here, though? Here we are. Yeah, well, 3 gold nuggets that they're gonna try to take from me. And you round 3, or you divide 3 in half, and then they're probably gonna round it and take 2, so I may as well buy a pack of snacks with that.
Ej, ty.
Czy coś się w końcu zmieni?
Alright, now please tell me
Ode mnie tego nie
that my rings are going to be separated and I will be able to use them.
Chcę opuścić kopalnię.
Mam nadzieję, że wydobyć więcej samorodków można znaleźć po... Trzymaj swój udział. Nie zapomnij o tym, że najlepszy kurs złotych monet za samorodki to...
Did he give me gold? I'm confused. I skipped the dialogue thinking it was going to be the same old thing. Boxer's rings are separated. Thank you. And then they'll get stacked together again somehow, some way. I'm pretty sure he gave me the thing. He said there's like more gold nuggets scattered around on the ground. It's not what I was expecting to happen.
Nie potrzebuję jeszcze więcej kłopotów.
Okay, so what now?
Był w sztok pijany.
I think I just need to go...
Lepiej zostawię to w spokoju.
Ludzie gadają.
Probably back to Rita's. Who's that courier? If I get, or not the courier, the runner. If I can get him to take me over to Rita's, that'll get me close to where I want to be. Although, I've got quests to turn in now, don't I? Why don't I go back to town?
Zabierz mnie.
Who wants
sumie to
the
się-
the the berries? The blue elder. Is that guy from the bee farm? So I need to go to the bee farm. That means Burmer?
Hej, ty! Zabierz... Farmy...
Oczywiście.
I go to Burmers, I can turn in the get over to what you call it, the beekeepers not too far away, and turn that in. Ergo, here you are.
Udało mi się zdobyć potrzebne nasiona.
Pokaż mi je. Wspaniale! W takim razie możemy zaczynać. Weź te paczuszki, do każdej dałem odrobinę nasion i nawozu. Teraz chodź za mną. Pokażę ci, gdzie je masz zasadzić.
Gonna be to the left. This nice flower field. Or not. We're gonna go really far away. Oh, you got your new thing set up here. Alright.
Jesteśmy na miejscu. Wcześniej zdążyłem postawić 2 ule gotowe do przyjęcia nowych lokatorów, więc gdy tylko kwiaty zakwitną, będziemy gotowi do produkcji. Nie traćmy czasu. Bierz nasiona i do roboty.
How do I plant? Is this random crate always here?
Dobra robota, chłopcze. To co? Może coś chłodnego po pracy?
Chętnie. Co teraz? Kiedy miód będzie gotowy?
Myślę, że za kilka miesięcy będzie można spróbować pierwszego słoika, później tylko poczekać kilka lat i pyszny miód pitny będzie gotowy.
Ile?
Spokojnie, żartuję! Niebieski bez kwitnie bardzo szybko. Przy dobrej pogodzie nawet za kilka tygodni spróbujemy pierwszych próbek miodu. Odwiedź mnie za jakiś czas. Może akurat będzie już coś do skosztowania.
I will forget that. I wish Ergo told me earlier how long it would take, but that's okay. Maybe I'll treat Yorn to it when I find him. Anyway, it's worth remembering to visit Ergo in the future. So at least I have that as a reminder. Trying to figure out where the best way to... I guess going back to Burmer's farm to hire the runner. Take me to Rita's. Man, I just really wishing I hadn't bought that, hadn't learned level 2 blacksmithing, because it seemed at the time like it would be useful to get me a good weapon, and then I immediately found something comparable that I probably could have bided my time to just use that weapon instead. And now I'm just like, oh, I just want these learning points. I'm not sure I'll be able to get enough level ups before I enter chapter 3.
Hej,
So take me to...
zabierz mnie do...
Rita's Vineyard.
winnicy Rity.
No ależ oczywiście.
Well, this general vicinity, where am I? This woods over here has not been explored. So I will set myself up here to be able to explore around Rita's Vineyard, Vinzard, for the next session is what I'll be doing.